Can't sit back. Let's see. We say Youngstown, Ohio. Oh. That's usually the cutoff point, Joe. There we go. Give me. That's the real cutoff. Boom. There we go. Right there. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our intro. And it's getting better. That's getting better all the time, Joe. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We're over here again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another round of the Boom Boom Room. I'm your host, Ray Mancini, here with my cut man, corner man, Joe Danier. And my spit bucket man is a no-show today, thus far. But we don't know, man. If you know Viking Jim, he stumbles in eventually. So when he comes there, we'll make the intro for him. But anyway, today we got a lot of things to talk about. First and foremost, I want to thank my friends from the UK. I always say this, but I'm very flattered that my friends from the UK, Scott Murray, Father Carmine, and the likes of all those people in Birmingham are listening. And so I'm going to get this right off the top, and then we're going to have a special guest coming on. Our special guest today is a dear friend of mine. I'm going to tell you right now. You know what? Scott, I'll be to mine. I'm going to get to you in a little bit. Scott, I'm going to get to you a little bit and talk about the fights over there. But my special guest, ladies and gentlemen, did he call in yet? Oh, I got to text him to call. I got to text him to call. Our special guest today, ladies and gentlemen, is a dear friend of mine. I know him fairly well. He's probably the best sports biographer there is right now, and he did my biography, The Good Son. He did Namath, by of course Joe Namath, and The Pistol by Pistol Pete Maravich. And if he'll tell the story, I hope he will, of whose biography he got offered to write. He turned it down to write mine. Oh nice. Yeah, this is a pretty good story. It's also, I think he's in the middle of another biography right now, and so we'll find out. So
he's on there. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me get there. So, my dear friend, now not only a top writer, period, and he's he really, I think he learned from when he did the book on me personally, because I don't think he knew a difference between a fish hook and a left hook before that. But now he's one of the premier boxing commentators on ESPN, along with Joe Tessitore and Tim Bradley. So let's get to it. My dear friend and friend forever now, Mark Kriegel. Mark, what's happening, my friend?
What's up, buddy?
Are you there? You okay?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, I got you. Now I got you. So I appreciate you calling in, because Mark, Joe, I got my friend Joe Danier, my producer here, Mark, and Joe, Mark just told me, he said, I actually had to call you guys. You couldn't call me. You don't got the 10 cents to call me. Mark, I'm telling you, man, we're working on the shoestring.
It ain't 10 cents anymore.
It ain't 10 cents, you ain't lying. But we're on a shoestring budget here. But like we got my cut man, spit bucket man, Joe Danier is my cut man. My spit bucket man, Viking Jim, who's just coming in right now. Anyway, Mark.
You don't need to cut me in anymore.
Anyhow, yeah, Viking Jim, there he is, just traipsing in. There he goes.
I'm sorry, Ray. I had to stop and see my guy.
That's all right. But Mark, we got you at the top of the hour because I know you got something going on about 2:30. We won't keep you long because I appreciate you spending time with us. But all right, first of all, let's get to it. Your piece recently, if anybody has read about Mark, he's been is writing for ESPN. It's online, and he just did two great articles, two of them. One about Terrence Crawford. So let's get to that, Mark.
Right.
What did you find out about Terrence Crawford that you didn't think you already knew, or that the public doesn't know? Well, that would be a surprise.
I think that the same way he can go left to right, he switches. He goes orthodox to southpaw. At this point, he's probably, he almost rarely goes orthodox when he goes orthodox, he wants to knock someone out, or
Right.
he thinks he's close to it. But through most of his career, he is switched. In the same way, he can go left side, right side. He can go good and evil, sadism and empathy. This is an interesting guy. As well as anyone in the world, but I always go for the father and son
Aspect.
angle.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
I wrote a whole book.
You wrote a whole book about it. I might get that book.
Yeah. And this is really about him and his mother. And when he was a little kid, his dad would put up his hand. And he would tap his dad's hand, and the dad would look over, and the dad would look over at the mom and say, "See, this is our $1 million baby. This is our $1 million, our $1 million fighter." And I can speak frankly on this show, correct?
Yeah, yeah. There's live stream. There's no holds barred. No holds barred.
So she turns to him and says, "He ain't gonna be shit."
Lovely. That's lovely.
And that's the dynamic, that fuels Terrence Crawford's life. This is a really tough kid, but he was always fighting for his mother's acceptance, her love. It's almost the opposite, the absolute antithesis of what you grew up with. You grew up with a father who was going to love you whether you were a fighter or not,
right.
Whether you won the title for him or not. You put that all on yourself.
Right. Right.
Crawford's mom wouldn't tell him she loved him, wouldn't tell him she was proud of him until the Indongo fight, and she's got her own damages.
Yeah, obviously.
But that fuels him. He'll tell you that's why I'm as hard as I am, and I was always trying to prove, Mom, are you proud of me? She didn't tell him she was proud of him until he unified the belts at 140, beat the kid Julius Indongo. She finally said, I'm proud of you. And when he went to Scotland to fight Ricky Burns for his first title, lightweight title,
right.
She did the same thing. She goes, I don't know why you train so hard. You just go over there and get your ass kicked. And I asked her about it. I said, why were you like that with him? And she says, well, I know if I say that to him, he's going all the way to whoop some ass.
Yeah, right. She thinks it's going to motivate him and fuel him. Right. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
But wait, one other thing with her, so why don't you tell the kid, you love him? And he goes, my kids know I love them, but I don't use that kind of language. I said, well, why not? What's the problem? He says, well, that's a hurting word. I said, what do you mean by that? And she said, well, it's just a matter of time. Love turns to hate. And I thought, it was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
That's her own, history in there. But that's what made Crawford. And he can be a beautiful, wonderful, sweet guy, does mission work in Africa, but he's also a killer, He'll hurt you. And he'll enjoy hurting you, too.
Yeah. I've read that. I read your pieces about him, the piece you wrote. I met him a couple of times, good guy. Tim Bradley. Tim's
very aloof, right?
Very aloof, but that's okay. I mean, you don't need to know me, right. And I don't need to know him that well. So, I'm very cordial, though, very nice. Tim Bradley's very high on him. They've become friends because, correct me if I'm wrong, Terrence became a sparring partner for Tim, and developed a relationship. And he found, how good this kid was.
Tim, I think that Tim went a long way toward discovering Terrence Crawford. He wasn't a kid, he didn't make the Olympic team, anything like that. Didn't have a lot of hype with him. He's from the middle of the country.
Right.
No one, not anyone's really looking to Omaha, Nebraska for the next, great lightweight or welterweight or whatever the case may be. So he didn't have a big hype machine behind him.
Right.
And Tim needed. I love working with this guy.
Yeah, he's great.
But
great.
Tim was fighting Devin. I think it was Devin Alexander, lefty.
Yes.
He needed a southpaw. And so.
And a strong one because Alexander's a strong guy.
Right, Crawford gets a call, and his trainer tells him, "Hey, listen, the catch is you got to fight all southpaw." And he goes, "Yeah, all right, no problem." and he shows up, and Tim will tell you, he beat the hell out of me. They go for whatever it was, 7, 8, 6 rounds, whatever it was that first day. He didn't know who he was. And Tim is, you know, in the pound-for-pound conversation at the time. He's throwing 100 punches around. He's in the best shape of his life. He's hungry. And Crawford comes in and beats the hell out of him. And at the end of the session that first day, he goes, "Who the hell are you?" He goes, I'm Terrence Crawford. He goes, "Where are you from, man?" He goes, "Omaha."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Let me tell you something, man." He goes, you ain't no sparring partner. You're a world champion." He was the first guy who ever told him that. I think that gave him a lot of confidence.
Oh, for sure.
And Tim Bradley started calling around about him.
How about that? You know, it was similar to, for me, a guy, I was looking at the end after the first Bramble fight. We were getting ready to fight Kenny Bogner in New Orleans and training. But no guy came in and trained with me, and he was smacking me around in the beginning, first couple of weeks. And then, like normal, a lot of guys catch, you know, I mean, that took me weeks, about the 4th or 5th week I'd catch up to him. But he was a son of a gun, was Frankie Randall. And Frankie Randall went on.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, Frankie Randall, we bought him, and he was, and just what Tim was, I told Chuck and Tang, and Griff, my trainer, this kid can go. This kid sticks with it. He's going to be a champion. But you just think that because I seen what he could do in there. And he was just...
And he went on to beat Chavez.
And he wanted to beat Chavez, yeah. So Frankie Randall was the real deal. So I understand that. I had that moment myself, you know, when you go, who is this guy? But, so, I mean, Mark, let me tell you something. Terrence Crawford is an interesting, like you said, dynamic. I like the kid's style. He's an action-packed fighter. He's fan-friendly. Comes to, like you said, hurt you, take you out. But, you know, everyone's talking about him and Spence. Now, I think Earl Spence is the best of them all right now. I think if they had I said if they had a tournament, an 8-man tournament, the two guys standing would be Crawford and Spence. But I think just right at this point, I think Spence is, you know, the better of the two. But I think it would be a war. I think it would be a great fight. And we need to see this great fight between these two guys because it would be reminiscent of Duran Hearns, you know? Two great American welterweights. And there's a plethora of good welterweights. Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, good welterweights. I think these guys are a step above, a level close to greatness. And the only way they're going to achieve that greatness is fighting each other. Do you agree or disagree? Or what do you think?
I'll go you one better, though. I don't think that you achieve that true greatness by fighting each other once.
Right.
You got to do it 2 times or 3 times. If that's what the matchup demands. In other words, one of the reasons that the 80s worked out so well for those welterweights is that those guys weren't afraid to lose.
That's right.
And some of them weren't afraid to lose twice.
Right.
So it wasn't about keeping your O. The scenario didn't really become dramatic until one guy lost. I mean, you know, Hearns was never bigger, I don't think, in a certain way. He really came to the public's attention losing to Leonard. And Leonard, I still think that was Leonard's best fight.
I find this out.
More satisfying fight, certainly, than Hagler. But those guys fought each other, and they weren't scared to lose. It wasn't. I think that one of the things, and I'm not diminishing Mayweather, but one of the, I think, problems of the Mayweather era was too many guys being too concerned with their undefeated record.
Absolutely right.
And,
I've said that.
Ali, it was never much for Ali, right? He took losses, you know. He fought Norton 3 times.
Right. You know,
how many times did he fight Norton? You know, I mean,
3 times. You're right. I think you're absolutely right. I think
you're
absolutely right.
That would never happen if they say, "Oh, the matchup's no good. We're never going. That thing will never happen." That's the problem with boxing. It's not corruption. It's not even bad decisions. They've always had those things. I mean, I'm not defending corruption, bad decisions, stupidity, but the problem is you have promotional silos. And guys don't fight enough. I mean, you know, I think that I'm hoping guys make fights with Eddie Hearns fighters. I'm really hoping that the Wilder Joshua fight comes off sooner rather than later. The problem with Pacquiao Mayweather wasn't that the fight itself was lackluster. The problem to me was that those guys fought once in the time in longer time than it took.
Right.
It took longer for those guys to fight once than it took Ali and Frazier to have a trilogy. Look at you and Bramble.
Right.
You lost, you come back, you fight him again. I want that one.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that was
We're
it.
6 months later. We fought 6 months later. And that's
Yeah.
what you, look, and Leonard Duran, you know, June and in November. You know,
Correct.
I mean, that's the thing. Mark, you're absolutely right. And that's the one thing I say about Bob Arum. And even recently, I've heard Eric Gomez at Golden Boy say it. I'm glad he said it. But Bob, you say, we're not going to punish you for losing. Just for you for losing, you're not out. We're not going to punish you for losing.
Well,
we
right.
respect if
but
you.
I think
you
that, yeah.
no, I'm saying
I
respect
think
if you
that
put it
one
on the
of
line.
Yeah, I think to that end, though, one of the most encouraging things I've seen lately was Lomachenko Linares. The fact that despite all the bad blood, top-ranking Golden Boy could make a fight like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Linares, and I credit Linares because he knew he was never going to get a name that big.
Right.
And we'll see. Listen, I went out yesterday to do a piece on Robert Garcia and Jose Ramirez, who he just got from Freddie Roach. And I asked him while I was there, you know, your brother Mikey had a long-standing lawsuit against Top Rank.
Right.
Is that going to prohibit Mikey from fighting, if not Ramirez, who's now his stablemate, Lomachenko or
Right.
Crawford? And he says, absolutely not. It was business. So I think that's encouraging.
Yes.
And obviously Garcia still trains a lot of top-ranked fighters,
Yes.
Jose Ramirez among them.
Right.
So, you know, I was encouraged by the Golden Boy, top-ranked Lomachenko Linares matchup. I thought it was a really good fight. You see how good Lomachenko is, however, to have fought, you know, with a torn labrum.
That's
most
unbelievable.
Of that fight.
That's unbelievable. And he was still, and he hit him with the body shot. Supposedly, was that the shoulder or was it his right shoulder? I thought it was his left shoulder. They said, right?
It was his left shoulder.
Okay, that's the one he knocked him
With
out with
his
the
left shoulder.
with the left body shot. So he kept throwing it, and you got to admire that he put through that pain. And that's the thing about boxers. You're able to take your pain level to a whole different place. You have to succeed. But you know, talking about
Right,
Bob
'cause
Arum,
you're all nuts.
Yeah, we're talking about Bob. Which, you're all nuts. You ain't, yeah, it's for sure. Talking about Bob, that's one thing I say about Bob. Bob is the smartest promoter and has been over the last 60 years. Why? Because even though him and DK had personal vendetta against each other in the 80s, they still did Leonard Duran because it made sense for the public. It's the best fight for the public, and it made sense for the fighters. So you do it.
Right.
You do it. I mean, you put that aside.
Yeah.
So
I think that as the fighters have become, it's actually become less about business and more personal.
yeah,
Usually, I mean, if Don, I did a piece with Bob and Don. We sat down for like lunch or donuts or whatever in New York back in March. Amir Imam, who was nominally promoted by King, fought Jose Ramirez,
Right.
promoted by Bob,
at the guard.
and for a 140-pound title. And they sat down, and I got Don and Bob to talk about the time where Bob got a call from the FBI saying that Don, basically, we have reason to believe that Don may have taken a contract out on you. And this is during the late '80s where things were just nuts. And Don, of course, denied it. He goes, "Come on, man! If I wanted to kill you, I'd do it myself." And that's, so, but my point is, as much as those two hated each other, and Don wasn't playing at being a gangster. He was really a gangster.
He was a gangster.
Okay?
Yeah, that's true. Right.
Okay.
That's right.
So, Don, we know, has at least two bodies on him. Okay, so it's not just an idle threat. If those guys could do business, why can't these guys do business?
That's exactly right. That's exactly
That's
right.
my point.
And it's a good, valid point, Mark. And as I said, Bob is the best promoter because he understands one key word. He understands that you have to improvise. You have to, you have to be able to give in. You know what I mean? You got to be able to give in and understand that it's what's best for the fighter, what's best for the game, the promoter. And he's always been the best at that. You got,
But that's usually what's best for your pocketbook too.
Yeah,
you know?
true. Well, but he knows we're all going to make money. One thing about Bob, I always said, I never fought for Don, but I knew guys who did. They say, oh, let me tell you, I'd rather fight for Don King anytime. And they go, what? They go, Don tells you, I'm going to screw you. But sign the contract anyway. But you know you're getting screwed. At least you know. Bob Arum, you get screwed by, and because you said you didn't look at page 9, article G, number 3. And I said, I never experienced that. My experience was, first of all, DK would never have screwed me because we knew the same people. Cleveland, he was Cleveland, I'm Youngstown. But
hey, Raymond.
But yes,
Raymond, you want to explain what you mean by? You want to really explain what you mean by that?
Why not? We were both from the same area. Youngstown is controlled by 2 major families, Cleveland and Pittsburgh. He's from Cleveland. I knew people in Cleveland. They knew they were, Don knew everybody. So he wasn't going to screw me because we knew the same people. So he'd always done right by me. And plus, he would have needed me. I wouldn't necessarily have needed him. And so, but Bob always gave you what he said he's going to give you. Contractually, whatever. You got to fight like hell with him. Fight like hell. Now, Dave Wolf, my manager, was as smart as they come. And him and Bob were they were on an intellectual level that was above most people. So when they battled, Dave would ask for stuff. Bob go, I don't understand why this guy asked for stuff. It makes no sense. But Dave had to know that he was getting Bob was giving in to him a little bit.
Right.
That was Dave Wolf.
It seems to me, though, that that as ferocious as some of the wars you were in, that when I think back on it, Dave and Bob might have been worse.
No, I understand.
Dave had to do how many steps into the ring. And those guys still talk about it.
You're right.
They got to be out in this much time.
Yeah.
There's got to be 18 steps into the ring, and the lights got to be on. If they're not on, there's no fight. We're not coming out.
No green M&Ms.
That's Viking Jim, my spit bucket guy who cradled it after we were talking to you. But he's here, my man's Viking Jim. But now, Mark, real fast. I mean, you're doing things now. I see the piece. Not that I know you're going to be going soon, so I want to get some questions real fast. I know you did a piece the other day. I just read about it. I saw it on ESPN on internet with Trae Young. Where do you think this kid's going to go? What do you think? I seem like a nice kid. Seem like a real sweet kid.
Probably about 12. I don't mean to I'm not a draft expert.
Yeah, I have nothing. I know nothing about that stuff. Yeah.
They call me in to do some basketball pieces.
Right.
What fascinates me about this kid is, first of all, it's a real heavy-duty father-son story.
Right.
His dad was a real player at Texas Tech, not quite good enough to play in the league, but he ruined his ankle in Europe, in Italy.
Okay.
A compound fracture, really gruesome. And he's one of these guys who, kept playing at the Y, thinking he was going to get a call.
Right.
And Trae Young's earliest basketball memory is like sitting on a ball, watching his old man play.
Right.
The second thing that's interesting about Young, to me, is the idea of his stature. Now, the big knock on him is that he's too small.
Too skinny, right?
But by the same token, the attraction to him, to his game, the way he moves, has to do with him being slight of stature.
Right, because he can move between guys, slide between guys.
But it's like the old Chamberlain quote: "No one roots for Goliath," but they do root for the little guy, and it's the little guys in this game who get the sneaker deals.
Yeah.
Iverson had a sneaker deal, and Shaq didn't for a time.
Right.
And it is always a very interesting dynamic there. So the whole attraction is based on his stature. The other thing is he's really the first, in a larger sense, the first child of the Steph Curry generation.
Right.
So
right.
He probably, wherever he's going to go in this draft, I don't think it would have been in the first round if it hadn't been for Steph Curry first. Steph Curry's example allows you to imagine what his success may look like. And let's also remember, Steph Curry didn't become Steph Curry overnight. There was ankle.
It took a couple of years.
All that.
Yeah, it took a couple of years.
Yeah.
2 or 3 years, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's funny you said.
So.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go.
No.
what I was going to say is your points are very valid. He's about 6'1", 6'6". I never knew Seth Curry was 6'3", and he's 6'3", but this kid's about 6'1.5", they say. And they're both
6'2", thereabouts.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're right. His range is out of, I'm hoping. Cleveland's got number 8, and they're talking about taking him. I've been there. There's different things. I would hope they could, because we need somebody to combat, the Seth Curry thing. And the other thing with that, everyone thinks LeBron's leaving. I'm one of the few that doesn't. I really don't think. Only reason he leaves, in my opinion, is because of his son. Because ball in L.A., high school ball in L.A., and travel ball, AAU ball in L.A.
There's no more high school ball anymore. It's all AAU. There is no high school ball. It's all,
AAU ball in L.A. is different than back east here. So that's why I think if he's doing it, because I don't think he's already out now. He's got 2 homes in Brentwood. He's already in the entertainment business. Why would he go to, they're talking about going, Stephen A.
That's exactly what. Ray, I love you. Yeah. You're the only guy. You're the only guy wants to go back to the snow in February. Me, I don't think that's a normal thing. I love you. I love how connected you are to Youngstown. I love writing about Youngstown. I love writing about you in Youngstown. I like the idea of it. But no one's going back there in February. You're the only one.
Yeah.
You're true blue. But the rest of the world, the rest of the planet, if you got a choice between Cleveland in winter and Brentwood, most people are taking Brentwood.
Yeah.
I know that's crazy to you.
I understand.
But the rest of us, it's sane, brother.
Mark, I get that, but I think he's already out there. It isn't like he's going to go out. He's already out there. And he's in the summertime. He's spends a lot of time there, and again, if he goes, it's because of his son. I think he's got a relationship now with the city. He's built it back up, and I think he's doing so many good things.
Yeah, but that's my point. He built it. He built it back up. Now he goes to L.A. He restores the great franchise.
Could be
of the Lakers. He brings along the young players.
But he's not going to win no He's not going to win no championship there, and he ain't even going to get to the finals. That's the thing.
I tell you what. If Kawhi Leonard comes, and Kyle Kuzma, they got the
good blood.
Ball kid.
And Mark, but you know what this is? I hear, and this is what I've heard. I've heard they're actually making more of a pitch for Kawhi than LeBron. That's what I heard. They're actually making more of a pitch to get Kawhi there. And I know Kawhi wants to be there.
Kawhi said he wants to be there.
Yeah, he said that. And great Pop tried to make the pitch to him. So they got to get something for it. And they got some good pieces, with Kuzma and Randall. They ain't gonna give up Randall, I don't think. But I look. But I think LeBron playing there. I think he stays. I'm going to go on a limb. I say stays because of the goodwill. He's in the entertainment business anyway. And I agree with what you're saying that February where you want to be. But let's look at they're traveling. He's on the road half the time anyhow, and so it could be anywhere. It could be any of his kids.
But the next, I'm in the boom room next.
Right.
We're gonna have a whole thing how Kriegel was right.
Okay, that's the next time we'll do that.
I mean, it happens once every century. Don't happen often.
No, you're right.
We're going to say Kriegel was right.
But, okay. All right, who do you?
In LA.
2 things on real fast. I'll let you go because I know you got to go. Yeah. Who's the pop out? Who's the surprise star of this? Donovan Mitchell was for many this class of last year. Who do you think's the pop out's the hidden secret? The guy that nobody sees.
I think the kid. I don't know if there's a hidden. I don't got a hidden secret. I'm not smart enough. No. The 2 kids that I like the most are Bamba,
right.
The kid from Texas by way of Harlem,
right,
and Luka Doncic. He's been playing with men.
Since he was 13. Since he was 13. Yeah, I do. Hey, Stephen A. Your boy Stephen A. He's tough on these guys, man. Stephen A. He's tough on these guys. Doncic's a good player. You don't want to give up because you always go by with these talent. They got more natural talent. But them European players have been kicking our ass for years because they're fundamentally sound, where these guys aren't. Our American players aren't.
You know what I say about you know what? Let me give you an example about European players. Okay?
Yeah.
I think people think about European players the same way fight guys thought about British fighters.
Right.
it's no longer true, right? The Brits are carrying the game in a certain weight class.
That's right. That's
Used to
right.
be, British heavyweight, you just laugh.
Right.
British heavyweight, oh, he's going to be horizontal. A little, he's there to lose. He's going to get to a certain point, he's going to lose. That's no longer the case. So I think that, the thought on European basketball players is very similar as it was to British fighters.
I got you. I got you.
Which is dismiss them at your own peril.
Right. I got you.
I love you.
I say, my brother, I can't thank you enough. Love you too, man. I can't wait to see you when I get back out.
We'll do it again when I get to gloat about LeBron.
Okay.
Lakers.
We'll have you on next week after this.
I don't got any skin
He ain't going Lakers. He ain't going Lakers. He ain't going. I'm telling you, there's no need to. Magic's recruit him, but no. It ain't going to be like, I don't think it's the Clips. I think he stays. And I will gloat to you. I think he stays.
All right.
All right, my brother. Thank you so much.
Either way, I'm good. Either way, I'm good for dinner when you come out. All
good.
Right?
You got it, my friend. You got it. All right. We'll call Eddie.
Later, buddy.
All right, baby. Thank you.
Take
Thank
care,
you so
fellas.
much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, that was my guest, Mark Kriegel, writer extraordinaire. I mean, look, forget my book. Read Namath and Pistol, the first two books he did. In fact, I meant to ask Mark what he's writing now. I know he's writing a book now. He was in somebody else's biography, and I'm not sure whose. Well, I think I do know one. I know who, but so for some reason I think there was a little problem, and so he stopped writing it. But maybe he's still doing it. But I don't want to say it because if he's not doing it, then it's for naught. Yeah. But anyhow, I'm gonna tell you a story. I should wanted to ask him. I didn't get the time. He was asked when he said he brought to Simon and Schuster was the publisher. Yeah. He said to them, came to them about doing the book. He owed them one more. He said, I owe the publisher one more. He went about writing the book on my life. He says, I'll tell you what. I'll use my own money to start off and see if you don't like what I write, we'll scratch it. Because they didn't want to get in advance. Because they already offered him a book to write, and he wasn't interested in doing it.
Different subject.
No, sports book.
Okay.
But it was on. They wanted him to write the book on Michael Jordan.
Oh.
And he said, Michael Jordan. He said, well, what am I going to write that hasn't been written? What am I going to write that nobody knows? That he's got a gambling problem? Everyone knows that now. So that he turned that down to write my life story, and I said, I beat Michael Jordan. So I thought that was a great credit to him, just because he really felt. And our book did well. Our book did well.
And your story is way more compelling. And I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. Your story is way more compelling.
I appreciate that, Mike. But that's the thing. We don't know Michael Jordan's story. We only know what we know.
Have you ever met him?
I met him yes, I did. I met him on a set of a commercial. A kid from Youngstown, Stevie Carmendi.
Okay.
Joe Pitka did all of the commercials for Nike. Joe Pitka was his guy, commercial guy. Nobody else got. And Joe Pitka wound up doing a couple movies. One of them with Jordan did the Bugs Bunny
with the cartoon,
right?
Yeah.
I forgot the name of the movie.
Terrible flick. I can't think of the name of it anyway.
But it made a shitload of money.
It did.
They'll let him again. Made a ton of money. And are we gonna get need for that one too, Joe? Probably. Jesus, man, I gotta stop.
Just don't blaspheme.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can take these off.
Don't blaspheme, right?
But he made a ton of money with that. But the movie made a lot of money. Space Jam.
Yeah.
So, but Michael, other than that, I said, Joe Pitka directed that. But Joe Pitka's, kid from Stevie Carmendi's from Struthers here. I knew Stevie since we were in high school. And Stevie was the second assistant director to Joe Pitka forever. So Stevie called me on a set, Michael Jordan dude, and that's where I met. And I have a picture with Michael. Can't find that picture either. But another commercial they were doing, Stevie called me, go do on the Fox lot. They're doing Michael Jackson is doing for video. He did the videos for Michael Jackson. It was a commercial for Pepsi with Michael Jackson. Yeah. And you should. So I met Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, take pictures. I still can't get that. I can't find that picture, which is driving me nuts. But I picture with Michael Jackson. So we took pictures of the who comes walking in because she was doing a movie on the next soundstage, Madonna.
No kidding.
So we all took a picture together, all of us. Yeah.
Can you find that? You can't find it.
Can't find it.
You know where it is?
It's in the same pile, wherever it may be.
You know where it is? The last place you left it.
That's it. Yeah. So, but that was Stevie set that up. But anyhow, That's how I met Michael Jordan. So, and the Magic I've got to know. I'm trying to think but look, we know Michael's public story. And believe me, I'm not so sure if Michael was playing now, they could do it. But even though it was before during the internet, beginning of the internet stage, early 90s, late 70s, the cell phones, internet wasn't really out now. I'm not sure Michael could have done what he did. He was a proficient gambler. That's well known.
Yeah.
He was going to AC. When they were playing in Philly, he'd go to AC. He was playing a lot. How much he lost, how much he played, we don't know.
How much money he had, yeah. How's he going to go broke?
But it would be out now. You'd see all the pictures of him in the casinos now.
Yeah.
But anyhow, a lot of his life, and David Stern, commissioner of the NBA, did a tremendous amount to protect Michael Jordan. Tremendous, far over and above. Why? Because he was the franchise.
He was the face of the league.
Magic and Bird made it primetime TV.
Yeah.
Made it primetime. Those two changed. They took basketball to the stage, center stage. Michael took it to a whole different level. Mm-hmm. He took it internationally. Mm-hmm. Internationally. So, and Stern knew what he had. So he protected that and Michael called the shots. So anyhow, but let's get to the stuff. I want to get out of here with the next.
Sorry, I didn't mean to sidebar you.
No. I'm talking about these mock drafts. So we're talking about NBA mock draft. Then we're going to get to more fighting. NBA mock draft. So everyone has DeAndre Ayton going to the Suns, #1. But it looks like a natural. He's a freak. They say a physical freak, could jump off the ceiling. So why not? The Suns need to start big. It's starting with it's a shooters. As Mark just said, it's a point guard. The guards game. Really, I was listening this afternoon to a couple guys during the draft. A couple coaches. John Calipari came on. Coach of Villanova. I forgot Jay. I forgot his last name. Not Jay Balas. Jay. But they all said there's no positions anymore. There's no position. Many guys play multiple. You got Caleb coming outside. He goes inside, but is he a 5 or a 4 or 5? Well, power forward or center. Well, he plays it all. So he plays on the outside. He shoots from the outside. So really, and I think that the Golden State Warriors proved. They got a lot of 5 small guys out there. Who's the point guard? LeBron's supposed to be a power forward. He'd bring it down. Even when Kyrie he brought it down.
A specific position players really are a thing of the past.
That's lost. Those games are lost. So now, these guys are picking guys on athletic ability, how they fit into the scheme, how do you fit into the coaches, the scheme.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's got a different scheme. The coaches now, and you fit into it. That's why Bill Belichick has been so successful. They have a certain way they play. And players fit into those slots. Right. Or they don't. They get moved out. They come. So anybody can move into the slot because it's the way we play the game. It's our system. You got to play in the system. Mm-hmm. So if and basketball is very similar to that. So that's why. So the Suns picking up the DeAndre Ayton, #1. A lot of people think this Luka Doncic, that Mark was talking about. Mm-hmm. Kid, he's from Slovenia, but he's been playing in. Other than outside NBA, the best league in the world is the European League. Everyone knows that. This kid's been playing in the European League since he was 13.
Wow.
He's been playing against men at 13. He's only 19 years old. so
he's already got the equivalent of, he's been playing pro ball since most kids would have been playing junior varsity.
Exactly. And they say his basketball IQ is off the charts. So some people got him going second to Sacramento Kings. I hope not. Some people have Marvin Bagley III going to Sac Kings. Marvin Bagley is a multi-talented player. He's multi-dimensional. I think he fits better for the scheme of the Sacramento Kings. But Luka Doncic, they said most people have him going #3 to the Hawks. And I think that's a good fit for him. A lot of other people have Jaren Jackson Jr. going to the Hawks at #3. And a lot of people have Luka Doncic going #2 to Sacramento Kings. And the same people have Marvin Bagley going to at #2, have him drop down, going to I think number 5, and they have Jaren Jackson going to, most people have met number 4, Jaren Jackson, going to the Grizzlies, and then Mohamed Bamba going to the Mavs at number 5. So if he don't go, and then a lot of people think it's a different, where there's fitting, those should be the top 5. DeAndre Ayton, Marvin Bagley the third, Luka Doncic, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Mohamed Bamba. Now, the other guy that everyone's talking about, we were talking about Trae Young, the kid to come from Oklahoma. He broke, only one that's done it, only one to lead the nation in scoring and assist. And he did it as a freshman.
Damn.
That's pretty, but his kid's 6'1.5", he's $160. Well, I said now Ben Reed's got up to $180. So he's, thin frame, but he's a Stephon Curry. He can hit from outside. I mean, shots that nobody should be hitting from, he's hitting. So he's got great handles, mad skills. So he had a lot of pressure put on him because he was the only guy at Oklahoma. He took that team to the league. Oklahoma hasn't been invited to the 64 team tournament, and he got him there. And they made it down to about the 32nd one, first game or second, but lost the second, I believe. But this kid did it basically on his own.
I'll bet you that guy's got a lot of mad skills at faking people out and getting inside by making them expect the outside, and then with the ball handling and
he's at depth,
breaking ankles.
Yeah, exactly. And I've been watching some video on him. And his skill level is really something. He's been doing some training, and they said that he's been pumping out like 185 pounds, 12, 15 times. They said a lot of guys couldn't do it. There was guys that were ahead of him last year couldn't do it 2 times. So his strength level. So he's really working with a trainer, picking up his weight. They said he's up to about $183. He was about 68 a couple of months ago.
Damn. So
protein drinks and stuff. Now steroids, they say protein and caloric intake, and I'm a firm believer. You can pick it up the caloric intake.
Sure.
And that's what people don't understand.
And work
muscle
it,
training.
And work it smart.
Exactly. So they expect him to go like 8 or 9. A lot of kids say this other kid they're talking about who's the silent, who would be the star, who would be the star that nobody's expecting, the breakout star. This Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They say he's like another Sean Livingston. Sean Livingston is a guy. I remember when he came out of high school, he went to the Los Angeles Clippers, picked them 1 right out of high school. But he's bounced around, he played in LA for a couple years. Then he went to Europe, played in Europe for years, came back, and he's one of the guys, he's like the 6th man on the Golden State Warriors. He's been with the Warriors for the last 4 or 5 years. He's had a nice career. Not a great career, very good career. Comes off, he plays the point, plays the 2 guard, plays the small forward. When they have that system, again, it's a system. So he's 6'7". So this Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is also 6'7", but they say he has a wingspan of 7-footer.
Damn.
So he's got some long. So those are the things now. So
must be hell to get a sport coat.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, and we're watching. I'm just looking. But the Cavs pick at number 8, and Trae Young I think would be a nice pickup for them. We got a good point guard. We got from Georgia. I forgot his last name, Georgetown. Well, we got over from brought in from Utah, and so I'm sorry, Indiana Pacers, not Utah, Indiana Pacers, and he's a good, solid guy. But this kid could, his skill level is pretty special, and he can hit that outside shot. Anyhow, the sleepers, a lot of people think this kid Kevin Knox, and when Kevin Knox, they're talking about him going as the sleeper, and another sleeper they're talking about. A lot of people picking him in the top 10, going number 6, Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. and Kevin Knox are supposed to be 2 sleepers that everyone's talking about. So there you go. If that's my 2 cents on the NBA draft, which along with the NFL draft and the weigh-ins before fights are the most boring
things in the world. Right? Well,
now here's the interesting though. Here's the interesting thing. Talking about shoe deals. Mark said Adidas only wants 1 guy. They're going after targeting 1 guy.
Yeah.
Trae Young. Because there's upside, it's his upside. He's the only one they want. They think his marketability is off the charts.
That's crazy.
So there it is. Nike, who already has LeBron, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Paul George, and Giannis, the Greek freak, under, I can't say his last name, I'm not gonna try. They're going after a lot of big names. Puma. How about this? Puma's making a comeback.
I totally forgot about Puma.
Puma is making a comeback, and they're making a big. They're making offers out to like Marvin Bagley III, DeAndre Ayton. I think Ayton made a deal with them already, and I think they have one with Bagley. And these are the guys, and another guy called Zane Smith from Texas Tech. So they offered Marvin Bagley III, who wasn't even expected to go first, but they offered the biggest rookie contract since KD, since Kevin Durant. 7-year, $60 million contract. So he comes out, he's already making $60 million through his shoe deal.
Right there. You make more money with clothes.
I'm in the wrong line of work.
Yeah, man, how about that? So, Dwight Howard, anybody cares? Got traded from the Hornets to the Nets. He doesn't want to play for the New Jersey Nets, so they're going to buy him out. And the Hornets got Timothy. Remember the guy, our center from Timothy Mozgov, who was here in Cleveland for a while. And
okay.
He got traded, but
I didn't even know.
They're working on a buyout for him. I'm giving you NBA news, people. You never know what you're gonna get here in the boom boom room. We're a plethora of information, plethora. So there you go. There.
Wait till I get him watching soccer, then we're really gonna be up a creek.
But so what was it there? How about this? Well, I'm going to talk about something. I'm going to talk about it then. One of my rants. How about this? But so that's what's going on there. NBA power rankings. How about this? How about the NBA power rankings at this far?
And those things
based on possible draft in the upcoming year, guys that's still on the roster. Golden State's still #1. They expect calling it a new dynasty. Houston #2. Sixers, 76ers #3. Celtics #4. Utah #5. Cavs are nowhere in the top 10. So to me, I think they're at 17. I think they have 17.
Yeah.
I went up number 17 because I wrote it down. So obviously with that, I think that being said, I think LeBron's leaving. So people must have inside information, or LeBron likes to throw, or people put it out there and let people see if they bite. And then I think he stays. Personally, I hope he does, but I think he does. But Mark thinks he knows different. He thinks he's in the know.
He's a wise guy.
Also, I was watching today Max Kellerman, Stephen A. Smith on First Take, and I like Max. Max, does commentary for HBO, but man, my brother Max, he says things, man. And you go, where does he get this stuff at? And then he gets, and then when he gets put on blast by Stephen A. or the other kid they got on now, I forgot his name, but he retracts, or I don't know, Max, stick with your guns, man. You're saying he says K-Love's okay. He's not a great player. He's a good player, very good player. K-Love is a double machine, man. Double machine. So he's an all-star. He's one of the top stars, and you think he's being overpaid? Maybe he thinks you're being overpaid. I don't know. But I just don't. And Stephen A. and Chauncey Billups both said, look, Stephen A. says, K-Love's a solid guy, very good player. He didn't have to say he's a superstar, but he's a kid. Chauncey Billups says, look, this guy, they both put Max on blast.
Right.
Max said, well, I think he's a good player. I think he's a great player. He's okay. I don't think he's worth what he's getting paid. Well, who are you to say? I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
Maybe it just boggles me. Man, stick with what you know. Chauncey Billups said, that said, no, man, he's an all-star. He is a top player. Chauncey Billups should know a little bit more. And Stephen A., I don't know Max Kellerman. I like Max personally. I just wonder where he comes from sometimes. These guys think LeBron's going to L.A. Stephen A.'s been saying that forever. He thinks Kawhi's going to follow him. They think that, but if my understanding is Kawhi Leonard's the number one guy they want, because he has more upside, because he's a lot younger than LeBron, and he has much mileage. So, and he's from the area. So Kawhi Leonard is actually who I think they're really centering their sights on. Kawhi Leonard, and then maybe LeBron after that, or Paul George after that.
May I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
If LeBron leaves, Do you think we're going to see a massive drop off in Cavs fever because?
Oh yeah.
Since the you think the bandwagon's going to empty pretty quick?
Oh no, there's no dispute. These people are going to jump off that wagon. I think people Cleveland on because we're people some of the greatest fans anywhere for any sport, or is it Cleveland, Northeastern Ohio?
Yeah.
Period in Cleveland, but. I think a lot, people will be jumping off that bandwagon. Yeah, and I think people, certain people there will.
There's a hardcore base of Cavs fans that'll go through thick and thin, but it's not nearly as large as the Indians fans. And you saw a lot of that when the Indians, just the last run, or in the '90s, you saw a lot of that as well. But especially the Browns fans, you've got that. But I think the core of hardcore fans are going to be thick and thin with that team. It's much smaller than it is with the other two Cleveland teams.
Oh, I believe that. There's no dispute with Indians in there. Yeah, they're Fredo. The Cavs are Fredo.
Yeah.
The Brownies are Michael. Indians are Sonny. Cavs are Fredo. We know that.
I'm not sure. The Browns might be sunny because they get killed.
Well, they're hard to watch. They're hard to watch. Ba-boom! Ba-boom! Oh, God. They're hard to watch, man. They are hard to watch. But hopefully this year, we'll have expectations.
I'm a Vikings fan and I'm pulling for them. What are you going to do?
Yeah, there you go. Also, one of the things I want to talk about also is fights coming up. Talk about Saturday. There's a fight this Saturday in Glasgow, not Glasgow. I learned how to say it. Not Glasgow, not Glasgow, England. Glasgow, Scotland. It's not England.
That's going to get you killed, right?
And it's spectacular. Glasgow is so beautiful, really. Everything you read about the greenery, it's spectacular.
And a lot of great historical architecture, historical city.
And I didn't get to go into. I was on like a resort area, man. But I just driving past there. It's just I can't wait to see it. And so there's a world title eliminator. There's a kid named Josh Taylor.
Okay.
Josh Taylor is trained and promoted by the sons of Barry McGuigan. Now, Barry McGuigan was a great champion. He beat one of the greatest champions of all time, and featherweight champions, and Eusebio Pedrosa. Barry beat him and beat him well, and no dispute, and beat him over there in Belfast. You see how I said that? Belfast. And and man, his sons, his son Shane trains Barry, and his other son, and I wish I knew his son's first name, man, is the promoter. But it's called the Cyclone Promotions because Barry's nickname was he's from Clones, Belfast, Clones, Belfast, and it was known as the Clones Cyclone.
Clones that's Cyclone. A good nickname.
Yeah, it is. Cool name. And one of the most loveliest men you ever want to meet. Truly, truly just a champ of a man. And as great a fighter as he was, he's a better person. So, Barry, your sons, God bless you. I wish you the well. Their fighter, Josh Taylor, is promoted and trained by his sons. And Josh Taylor is fighting this weekend. And again, fighting Victor Postal, who's Ukrainian. Victor Postal, good fighter. Hard style, tall, lanky, takes good punch, not a big puncher, but can fight. So I wish Josh Taylor all the best because he's got a headache on his hands with Victor Postal. Victor Postal fought our local Jake Juricio. Decision Jake. Jake fought him hard, but he won a decision over Jake. And so Victor Postal fought for a title already. And he's fighting for another title eliminator. So I wish Josh Taylor, I hear a lot of good things about him. I wish him well. Fighting Victor Postal this Saturday, the 23rd of June. So over in Glasgow, Scotland. Scott, I hope I did you proud, my brother. Say my best to Barry. He's just a lovely, lovely man. You're going up there, my friend Scott Murray, our friend Scott Murray. He's going to Glasgow with his son, King George. His son's George. I call him King George because it's a common name in England because of King George.
Yeah.
And so King George, but it's a great, son. His son's a young teenager. He's a good-looking, handsome kid, and they're going over. So it's a great father and son trip.
Aww.
And I'm married, and
that's a nice warm fuzzy.
It is. It's a beautiful thing to see fathers and sons taking these trips to go to sporting events. So, Scott, enjoy the fight. Also, on boxing news, how about this? Tyson Fury, who made his comeback, defends Mike Tyson against comments made from Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder said that he would have taken out Mike Tyson. Tyson Fury, who was named after Mike Tyson, defended him and said, "You're a chinless bum." He called Deontay Wilder a chinless bum. He said, "And I would knock you out." So that's a fight that was talked about at one time, but then Tyson Fury, went away for a couple of years, meaning he just dropped out of the scene. I don't know where he went, but he dropped out of the scene. So he made comments defending Mike Tyson against Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder said he would have beat Mike Tyson, and Tyson Fury said no.
Fat chance.
So, also, guy we were talking about the other day, fight I said I wanted to see, got made. They must have heard me, man. They must have heard us. And I just read it today, so we were first when we said it. Fight I wanted to see, it's happening. Danny Roman and Isaac Dugbe are on track for to unify the junior featherweight, which is 122 pounds, titles. Danny Roman won last weekend. And we saw Isaac Dugbe beat Jesse Magdaleno a couple of months ago. And so
I like those light classes. Those are always good fights.
That'd be a war. That'd be a good hell of a fight. Terrific. And that was one of my fights I wanted to see. A fall fight for Terrence Crawford. We were just talking about Terrence Crawford. He's fighting, I believe he said October 13th. And it's going to be back at the University of Nebraska. Their whatever their gym is. We got Beakley Center, whatever their center is. It's going to be there. And it's the same night that on the afternoon, the University of Nebraska has a football game playing Northwestern. And so that night, they're going to fight, Terrence Crawford is defending his title.
They should get a nice crowd.
October 13th is a big day of sports in Omaha.
They're putting that on a tube, do you know?
Terrence Crawford will be on ESPN.
All right, cool.
And, and I think, obviously, I'm assuming University of Nebraska will be on network television. They usually network one of them universities they have on network.
Yeah.
Also, the Manny Pacquiao Lucas Batiste fight that's been supposed to be happening this when is the date? I forgot the date. July. It was supposed to be July 13th. Yeah. It's in trouble. Manny Pacquiao's company, Manny Pacquiao Promotion, MP Promotions, missed deadlines. They missed deadlines. They were supposed to pay. They paid. They offered Batiste. See, Manny thinks you got like most guys. You gotta love Bob Arum. He says back and lets it happen. Everyone thinks they know more than you. Bob Arum was helping Manny with his own show when he was doing the shows, started his company. So Bob Arum would do shows in conjunction with Manny. Well, now Manny wants to go on his own. Get rid of Freddie Roach. Bob still has a piece of this promotion, but Manny wanted to be the main promoter. They're doing it over in Malaysia, but he's missed times. He was supposed to put up $500,000 to offer Victor Postol 2.5. Victor Postol. Lucas Batiste, 2.5 million. They paid him $500,000, upfront money, to sign upfront money. They owe him $2 million, and they were supposed to be by a certain date. Date's passed. He hasn't paid it.
Didn't pay his bill.
Didn't pay the $2 million. So the fight's in trouble. May not happen because you get there's dates. We used to have those dates X amount by X amount. X amount during a certain date. X amount more at another date. So he missed that already. So he missed deadlines to finance various aspects of the fight, at risk of being called up. Missed Lucas Batiste's deadline, and also a deadline for the promotion, for the TV. He was supposed to pay TV.
Never happened.
So they're supposed to fight in July. I think that weekend was July 13th. I think it's the date, whatever that Saturday is of that week.
Yeah, it'll be the 13th. Yeah.
So, but he missed deadline, so it's on the verge of being called off. We'll see what happens there. Errol Spence. Right now, he's supposed to fight a guy from a Cuban contender, Yordenis Ugas. Who lives in Miami. Cuban who lives in Miami. They all live in Miami. But I'm just saying, who defected from Cuba, living in Miami. And
he speaks good Cuban.
Cuba. Cuba. No, well, my kids are Cuban, so my kids are cubano. I always said, it is for my Latino brothers. Mi hijos, su nombre es italiano. Su nombre es italiano. Su sangre es cubano. Which translates, you like how I said it, huh? I said, just like Tony Montana, man. That's the proper accent.
Afraid you might have turned me on a little there, Ray.
Oh, man, my man. Which I said, my Cubans, I said, my children, their name is Italian, but their blood is Cuban. And the reason why people, just to get sidetracked, my father said, you're Italian, your name's Mancini, you're Italian, your name's not O'Neill, your name's not Attreat, which is my mother's main name is Attreat. You're not, my aunt was an O'Neill, your name, you're Italian. Well, I thought, okay, what's your father's? When I went to Italy for the first time, I told my cousins, my father said, my cousins started laughing. They started laughing. I said, Ray, we don't know what they believe in America, but in Italia, which is, we find it not only in Italy, everywhere else in the world too, you carry your father's name, but your mother's blood. Thus, the fact, if your mother's Jewish, you're considered Jewish. Yeah. The Jewish religion.
So therefore,
yes, therefore, thus, my children are cubano. But they carry that Mancini name, man. Don't let that, don't get it twisted there. So anyhow,
that makes me Hungarian.
So Errol Spence was supposed to fight the Cuban contender Yordenis Ugas from Miami, but he doesn't want that fight. That's his mandatory. He doesn't want to. He wants to fight Jesse Vargas. Jesse Vargas, who fought Adrian Broner, I said they fought to a draw, and we thought. But Jesse Vargas said that fight can't happen right away because him and Broner are in negotiations for the rematch. So. But if Adrian Broner is getting jammed up with all kind of legal lawsuits, he may be going to jail. I hope that better happen before he goes. So anyway, that's boxing news. From this weekend and this Saturday from Glasgow. On Glasgow, we got Josh Taylor fighting Victor Postal, and Tyson Fury talked about defending Mike Tyson's honor. Danny Roman and Isaac Dogboe are close on track to fighting for unifying the titles. And Terence Crawford, October 13th. And Pacquiao Matisse in trouble. That fight may not happen. And Errol Spence wants to fight Jesse Vargas next. So, I thought it was interesting. Triple G said this about, when I asked him about Canelo, but the fight finally being made. What are your thoughts on Canelo? He says, I don't care much about. I said I don't care about him as a human being. Just he's there for the fight. I don't care much for him. I don't care about him much as a human being. I just hope he's there for the fight.
It's for him a moving punching bag.
Pardon me?
Yeah, for him it's a moving punching bag.
There you go.
Piece of gym equipment.
Obviously, they're not,
That's some trash
they're
talk.
don't gotta be. They're not gonna do no tours for this. Don't have to. The fight speaks for itself. Don't have to. So you save a lot of money that way. But for the next time you see him, you want to see him at the face up at the weigh-in, and you got to get people in between because that could get ugly. Believe me, I've been in weigh-ins where I punched my opponent because they were smack talking and the tension was so high. And things had to,
You actually smacked the guy at a weigh-in.
My manager got, what's the matter with you? You cut him or something? The fight's off. What's the matter with you? That was the morning up. That wasn't the night before. So, yeah. Where are we at here? Okay, we made an hour. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna give you my top 5 list real fast because since we talked about Fred Mark Kriegel, I'm gonna give you my. I was gonna give you a hidden secret here, but I am.
Do it anyway.
Hidden secret that's coming up. Hasn't even been open yet.
What's up?
But I'm gonna give it to you. It's opening in July. I think I said this before. A new sub shop here in Youngstown.
Yeah.
Actually in Canfield, on 224, right off of Route 11 here in Youngstown. So if anybody ever rides off of Route 11 in Canfield, Ohio, stop off. You see Dave's Cosmic Subs. Dave's Cosmic Subs originated in Cleveland.
Yeah.
It's got a 70s motif, 60s actually. It's motif. Dave, my brother Dave must have smoked a lot of herb back.
I might know the guy.
You might know him. A lot of herb back there. So everything, but his subs, it's Cosmic Subs. It's a cosmic feel, man. And we talked about, I have Sammy Hagar's guitar from the 55, I Can't Drive 55 tour, right?
Yeah.
He talks about it online. You've gone, if anybody goes on to Sammy Hagar talking about his guitar collection, about the 136 mark, and there he talks about me, how I traded him, I gave him one of my robes and trunks.
Yeah, I've seen that.
My fight,
yeah.
And then he gave me his guitar. Hey, man, but I really miss that guitar, man. I don't, I really have to. Sammy, I love you, brother. But you know you got to deal with one of the people. You get guitars. You get all kind of guitars. I only got one robe. I only had one, robe. I only had 3 different robes, but that color, if that color, of that color scheme, that's it. So, with that being said, I'm allowed them to put that up on the wall. So they're going to use that. So that's what Dave's Cosmic Subs coming this July here in Canfield, Ohio. Believe me, it's a different type. What makes it really stands out for me is the bread. The bread is something they do with the bread. The ingredients, man, is really off the hook, man. Because most subs, the meat's gonna be fresh. It's gonna, but the bread is what makes it.
Absolutely.
And this bread is gonna be off the hook. So Dave's Cosmic Subs here. That's the hidden secret. Hasn't opened yet. I'll be talking more about it as we get closer because I get someone be a spokesperson for them and. My deal is I get subs for life.
Damn.
That's it. That's all I want. Subs for life.
Good life.
That's
you
it.
better share with your spit bucket guy, your cut man.
Yeah, but since they're opening, I said, look, you know what? You're an opening. You'll get that. We'll have them. They will deliver. They do deliver too. They will be delivered at that time. So we'll have them delivered down here.
Great. We'll grub out.
That's right. But top 5 list, and then I'm gonna say goodnight. Top 5 boxing writers. Top 5 contemporary, not all time, contemporary. Because there were some great all-time. Contemporary. So I'm going to go. Number 5, 5A and B. 5A, Lance Pugmire from the LA Times.
Okay.
And I don't know if my man's still doing it or not. I think he is for New York paper. I'm not sure because these guys bounce from. But Wally Matthews. Wally, I'm not sure if you're still writing for him. I think you are, but if you're not, well, I give you a plug anyhow. But Lance Pugmire from the LA Times. Number 4, Gordon Marino. My man Gordon, who wrote that book. I told you, the existentialist guide to, the existentialist guide.
Yeah.
And existentialism is being in the moment.
Yeah.
So, my man Gordon Marino writes a boxing column for the Wall Street Journal. So, if you get the Wall Street Journal, read my man Gordon Marino before every big fight. Number 3, my man Dan Raphael from ESPN. Dan Raphael is a great writer. Number 2, Steve Kim. My Steve, K9 Kim
I love
from
him.
the Undisputed Champions Network, but he's always on line. And number 1, Mark Kriegel. Who would have thunk it, right?
Yeah.
How did he get to be number 1?
He's your homeboy.
My man, Mark Kriegel, number 1. To me, the best boxer. Right? He writes a story. It's more in depth. It's not a typical boxing story. But Steve Kim, terrific. Dan Raphael, terrific. Gordon Marino, special. And Lance Pugmire and Wally Matthews. So there's my top 5 list. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking around for today. I appreciate you tuning in for another round of the Boom Boom Room. If you like the show, please tell your friends. What happened? And if not, then like I said, please keep it to yourself. But until then, hold on one second. Hold on. My daughter's facing me. I'm going to say goodbye. Hold on. So anyhow, till then, take care. Take care of each other. Love each other. Good night. God bless. Hold on, Mama. Hold on.